I didn't touch you.
You didn't need to.
Hey everyone, this is Maggie, and today we're gonna break down and explain Gone Girl ending. Since we will be talking about this movie in depth, beware big spoilers flying your way. It is true when they say that Gone Girl is possibly among the worst movies you could pick for watching on a date night. The film, simultaneously working as a deconstruction of modern marriages and media sensationalization in the current day and age, also presents a frighteningly real picture that makes you paranoid and uneasy. While it may also go on to unnerve a thing or two in your relationship, consider yourself warned.
He'll do that all by himself.
Oh, cunt.
I'm the cunt you married.
What makes Gone Girl click, perhaps most, not counting its obvious credit as a well-made film and a taut thriller, is that we all have been there. We have all been a part of a manipulative relationship, stuck with a manipulative partner, or been cheated upon, wherein all hell broke loose once the mask of normalcy were shed. While watching the film, Nick Dunn's plight makes you feel for him, just as you feel for Amy when Nick's affair is revealed, even looking for reasons to justify Amy's twisted plan for revenge against Nick. The end is where it all comes undone, and Amy does something equivalent of what Nick could have never pulled off. I know of at least a dozen guys who turned and looked at their girlfriends in disbelief, looking at Amy's antics on screen.
Did you, by any chance, tell anybody anything about us? Even texting or on Facebook?
Facebook? I used a disposable phone.
While I may not go as far as calling Amy a psychopath, she definitely is a sociopath, for the very reason she eloped and set Nick up in the first place. Also, in a latent, twisted way, she does care for Nick. There are definitely more facets to the fact that Nick chose to stay with Amy, and why Amy returned despite all that conspired. At this point, it would be safe to say Nick and Amy never really loved each other. They are briefly attracted to each other, but they fell in love with the roles the other played, rather than their real selves.
Gone. And my lazy, lying, cheating, oblivious husband will go to prison for my murder.
Amy is a narcissistic, controlling woman. Nick is an ignorant, lazy fellow, not to forget a liar and a cheater too. That is what the reality is. A relationship between their real selves would be a ticking time bomb, as it later proves to be. Their roles, the ones they played at the beginning of the film that made them fall for each other, the masks they put on them made them return to each other towards the end of the film. It is then ironic that their resolution to not being that couple landed them exactly there. The Nick-Amy dynamic is one that is not explained by a cause and effect relationship or linear mechanism, but is rather better represented cyclically, wherein one feeds off another. Amy derives strength to feed her narcissism and her constant need for attention from Nick, stating multiple times how he could not have landed anyone better than her. Nick sees himself rise to the occasion when he has to woo Amy, and this is the Nick he likes more, the cooler Nick, one who proposes in suave fashion in front of a group of reporters and has sex in the library to keep things exciting. Currently in the film's timeline, he basks in the role of the loving, reformed husband who got a second chance at love. Their roles is what they become in the end.
Jay.
With us, 2 years, it's just good.
Between all this, one is left to wonder who is the more manipulative of the two. The cheating husband who put up a face on live television, luring the wife out of hiding? Or the murderous wife who calculated every one of her moves till the very end? While you contemplate on that, this section has presented us with some significant findings that will help answer the two of the most important character questions the film's ending raises.
Amy, I love you. You're the best person I've ever known. And I've taken myself to the woodshed for the way that I've treated you.
It would be crude to say that poor Desi Collins was just a bait sacrificed in the deadly game of one-upmanship that Nick and Amy found themselves in, but it is harshly true in a lot of ways. Yes, Amy returned to him when she was robbed and her plan backfired. The game changed when she saw Nick confess his infidelity on television and pleaded for her to come back. "Maybe I only need to reach one," he said. That he did.
Well, he is looking for you. He showed up on my doorstep 3 days ago. He tracked me from my letters to you.
An important part of Amy's planned punishment for Nick was public humiliation and for him to be hated by the nation perhaps. All that changed when Nick shifted the public sentiment towards him by becoming the remorseful husband who then had the public's commiseration. This is Amy's unbecoming, who then returns to Nick to resume her role, her face that she doomed of Amazing Amy. She kills Desi in cold blood and uses her condition and abuse to dodge any question that may reveal the truth. Nick perhaps realizes the true reason of her return, attention and the public eye irrespective of the murder, when the first expression he has when Amy returns and collapses in his arms.
Fucking bitch.
As soon as she does return, her image in the public eye changes. From poor Amy, who was abused at the hands of her husband, it becomes that of a fighter and a survivor, one she happily enjoys and enrolls her unwilling husband along to play the game, on her conditions, fearful but brilliant. She now has the public eye and is confident enough to manipulate Nick into staying with her and becoming the husband she desires. Yes, Amy's revelation of her pregnancy and her threat of making sure Nick's baby would grow up to hate him was one of the reasons, but it wasn't the only one. Nick stayed because of what Amy said. As twisted as it may sound, Nick began to draw some sort of sadistic gratification from the little game that transpired upon Amy's return back home. As discussed, the Nick he became when he wanted to woo Amy was the Nick Amy wanted him to be. The Nick he became from rising up to Amy's little game is Nick he wanted to be. With his little time in the limelight and stint with the media and the public, fickle as the Roman mob, he has learned the game of manipulation that Amy masters. Deep inside, he wants to be seen as the loving husband who will give everything to make their marriage work upon being given a second chance at love. Again, twisted but brilliant.
We're honest with each other. We're partners in crime.
Far from making it work, actually. Tanner Bolt was correct on account of saying two things. 1. Amy and Nick's current predicament is a perfect predicament. A twisted, almost psychotic, manipulative couple like that living under the same roof? I'd pay to watch that. The second, when he warns Nick not to piss her off, and we all know Nick is smarter than that.
We can jumpstart your defense. The truth is my defense.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notifications about our latest videos. From what's said and shown, their future might hold more than just a book and a movie deal. There will be tensions, manipulation, and perhaps a violent confrontation and breakdown or two. Throw a baby in the mix and things are bound to spice up a little more. They might even grow into the roles they assume under the guise of normalcy. However, in front of a camera, they'd both know better to put on their alternate faces, those of America's tabloid sweethearts. A couple touched by the miracle of the Mississippi. A couple giving a second chance at love. A couple that survived.
Everything you've heard about my wife is a lie. She is a calculating, murderous psychopath.
The film closes with virtually the same frame and quote it begins with, the prime difference being Amy's diabolical smile with Nick running his hands through Amy's hair. Picturing her head, cracking her lovely skull, unspooling her brains, looking for answers.
How are you feeling? What have we done to each other? What will we do?
Thanks for watching, everyone. Please make sure to give the video a like and subscribe with that bell on to get notified as soon as one of our videos comes out.